know you're most definitely duly blessed. And it's time for Ultimate Health on Joy99.7 FM. With me, Nortey by nature. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Ultimate Health brought to you by Virtual Security Africa. Live and in effect. And as you know, I always start with some praise. Let's say amen with Timmy Daklo. You know where you're at. Oh yeah, in a fear, I see you.
You self go be a boss. Amen. Joy. Sister, where one now receives.
On Joy99.7 FM with me, Nortey by nature. Listen every Sunday, 2:05. We come to you courtesy Virtual Security Africa. Visit them on www.virtualsecurityafrica.com or call them on 0558 740 764. That's right. VSA is a Ghanaian company with 15 years experience providing integrated electronic solutions for security such as CCTV, access control, intruder alarm, fire alarm, electric fence, and many more. They provide cutting-edge solutions to meet the security needs of their customers with lifetime after-sales support. You can locate them in Accra, Tesano behind the Alive Castle, Castle Chapel. Showroom at Jowulu, first floor, Nana Adepa Plaza. In Kumasi, you can find them around the Santasi roundabout opposite the Goyle fuel station. And Takrady on the Kintampo Road. VSA bringing you Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. All right, you're most welcome. Last week, Ghana launched just another pillar in its HIV response. Yeah, now available alongside other self-test kits. It's the Oraquick HIV self-test kit launched last week, Wednesday. We're going to be talking about that. And of course, considering whether it is a deal breaker, a game changer for our national response. So you can join us on WhatsApp, 055 11 11 997. And we're live on Facebook as well. I've got my guests in the studio. I have Dr. Raphael Edujemfi. He's a Program Officer, Clinical Care Unit at the National AIDS and STI Control Program. Next to him, I have Ernest Obing Otin. He's the president of the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network. I think he's also vice president of our national coordinating program for the Global Fund. We're expecting Dr. Fred Nanapoku, he's the Director of Technical Services at the Ghana AIDS Commission. So we're talking about this new addition to our national response to HIV/AIDS. Now, I know most of you in recent times have become a bit, should I say, complacent when it comes to HIV. So we're going to look at the issues. We know about testing, we know about voluntary counseling and testing and many of the other things. But how would you feel having that power, that capacity to test and know your status? That's what we're talking about today. And we'll put that in the context of the national data we have on prevalence of HIV/AIDS. Remember, you can WhatsApp us on 055 11 11 997. So, gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Right. You can see I'm in the mood.
Yes.
But we're making great strides. We've been fighting HIV for quite a long time. And there are very, very strong targets directing every nation with regards to how it responds and regards to the kind of targets we're looking at. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is to put our discussion in the context of our national situation. Let me start with you, Dr. Eduje. You're with the National AIDS and STI Control Program. So you should have all the facts. How is Ghana doing currently?
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon to the audience. Now, Ghana diagnosed the first HIV case in 1986, and since then, we have, as of December 2022, we have about 350,000 persons estimated to be living with HIV in Ghana.
Okay.
Yes, and overall, we have a prevalence of about 1.7% in the general population. Among persons who have STI, the prevalence is around 12.3%. Among persons, the female sex workers, the prevalence is 4.6%, and it's 18.1% amongst the men who have sex with other men.
Right.
Now,
can you slow down? So national prevalence is what?
1.7%.
1.7% of our population.
Yes.
Around or approximately 350,000 people in Ghana are
estimated to be living with HIV.
Estimated. So that's an estimate.
Yes.
Okay. And then you were breaking it down into key populations.
Yes.
Segments of our population we are especially concerned about.
Yes.
And you started with FSW, female sex workers.
Yes.
Okay. That's the nicer name for it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's break it down slowly so that our listeners can appreciate this.
Okay. So for the female sex workers, the prevalence is 4.6% amongst them.
Okay.
For the men who have sex with men, the prevalence is 18% amongst them.
Now, this is a gross, wide, significant deviation from the national prevalence.
Yes.
So we have a higher, exceptionally, significantly higher prevalence amongst these key populations.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Now, as you rightly said, the UNAIDS set targets in 2016, set targets for countries to guide their response to HIV.
Okay.
So they came up initially with the 1990 targets.
Right. That was after the Melbourne 2014 meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And later reviewed it to 95.
Okay. What does that mean?
Okay. So the first 95 says that for the estimated number of people living with HIV, at least 95% of them should know their status.
Okay.
That's the first 95.
So within Ghana, we're expecting that within that estimated segment,
yes,
they should know, they should be aware of their HIV status. Okay.
Yes. So that's the first 95.
So knowledge of your status is an important, salient indicator.
Yes, it is.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Then of those who know their status, the second 95 says that at least 95% of them should be on sustained antiretroviral medications.
Okay.
That's the second 95.
So they've gone beyond knowing their status and harnessing that status to access treatment and care. And we want 95% of those people to also be on treatment and care.
Sustained antiretroviral.
Sustained. Okay.
Yes,
right.
Medication.
Great.
Then the third 95 says that for those who are on treatment, at least 95% of them should achieve viral suppression. Because that's the ultimate goal. If we are to achieve epidemic control, you should be virally suppressed.
Okay.
It reduces the risk of HIV transmission, it reduces AIDS-related deaths,
Okay.
and improves the quality of life in general for...
Right, Dr. Edujevi, let me suppress you a bit.
Okay.
Such that you break down viral suppression, right?
Okay.
We know there currently is no cure, right? So when you say viral suppression, without galloping on, let's explain that for the benefit of our listeners.
Okay. So for someone who is on treatment,
Mm-hmm.
currently we have a new medication, the dolutegravir, that has improved HIV care.
Okay.
So it is estimated that at least within 6 months of being initiated on treatment,
Mm-hmm.
you should be virally suppressed.
Okay.
And by that, it means no matter how high your viral load was, it should be below 50 copies per mil.
Okay.
That's when we say you should actually be undetectable. So you should be below 50
So if
copies
you
per
do a
mil.
test, that should be undetectable by the regular test, or?
Yeah, I mean there is a special test we use to assess viral load.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a PCR test.
Exactly.
So when that is, it counts the number of HIV viruses per mil of blood.
Right, that's your viral load.
Yeah, that's the viral
Okay.
load.
And you're saying when it's below that level, you mentioned or you use the word undetected. These things confuse and misinform. That's why I'm being very particular about what it means. When you say undetected, what do you mean?
Okay, so for some, depending on the machine that is being used, there are various thresholds. So for some of the machines, if it's below the 50 copies per mil, the result then comes out saying it's undetectable.
Undetected.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means the machine didn't see enough viral copies to quantify it.
Okay,
Yes.
understood. But what
Yes.
does that mean clinically?
Clinically,
Am I HIV positive or not? Some people will go and show this in some church and say, I am healed. And therefore, should I say, abandon all treatment and care. So I want you to, take your time and break it down. What does it mean?
okay, if your viral load comes out and it's undetectable, it means that the antiretroviral medications have successfully suppressed the multiplication of the virus.
Okay.
It doesn't mean the virus has left the system.
Can you still transmit, infect?
Okay, so at that time, once your viral load is undetectable, the likelihood of you transmitting the virus is very low.
Very low.
That's the good news.
Okay.
Yes,
Right. But very low doesn't mean that you can do what you want.
it doesn't.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are important targets. Okay. You want 95% of the estimated population segment living with HIV to know their status, right? Then of that group, we want 95% of them to be on sustained treatment.
Yes.
Okay. And then we want also to have 95% of them hitting this target of viral suppression,
Yes.
which also I expect or I assume should be sustained.
Yes.
Okay.
Should be sustained, yes.
All right. How are we doing very quickly with these targets for my
Okay.
listeners?
Currently, for the first 95, we are at 72%.
Okay.
Instead of the goal is to achieve that by 2025
2025.
for Ghana.
Okay.
We are at 72% now for the first 95.
Okay.
So only
Which means that of the estimated population with the virus, 95% of them are aware of their status.
72%.
Sorry, 72%
Yes.
of that first sector are aware. Okay,
Yes.
great. Uh-huh.
And then for the second 95, for those who know their status, we have 87% of them being on treatment currently.
Okay.
And then for those on treatment, we have 68% of them currently being virally suppressed.
Okay.
So we have quite a way to go,
Okay.
quite some way to go. And the entry into the HIV care cascade is through testing. So because there is a gap in the first 95, which is 72%, we really have a lot to do to achieve epidemic control.
Okay.
That's why we had to look at other means to improve case detection in the country.
All right.
And a review of the data showed that there were some populations that had low testing coverage.
Okay.
And they included men in general because of their their poor health-seeking behavior.
Okay.
Men in general are one. These key populations, the key and vulnerable populations, the men who have sex with men, the sex workers. Then there are some other high-risk men in uniform, the miners, the fisher folks, those who travel a lot, the long-distance trackers. Testing coverage is quite low in them.
Okay.
So there was the need to introduce another evidence-based approach to improve testing coverage amongst these populations as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Great. If you just joined us, it's 17 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy99.7 FM. The program is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living, brought to you by Virtual Security Africa. We're discussing the introduction of yet another pillar in the national response to HIV and AIDS, the Oraquick self-test. Right, you can test yourself using an oral test kit. We'll be talking about that and explaining how it works. But it's expected or projected to be a potential game changer. You've just heard speaking Dr. Raphael Edujemfi with the National AIDS and STI Control Program telling us our data, right? There are certain key populations which are, should I say, fueling in terms of prevalence rates, our HIV profile, okay? And ironically, these same key populations are not well covered or adequately covered when it comes to testing. So we're introducing various arms of the testing platform to make it easier and more likely for people to test. And that brings us to the recently launched Oraquick, right? There are other self-test kits available in Ghana. Oraquick is just one brand or one of those which was launched last week. Now, Mr. Orton, you are the president of the Ghana HIV AIDS Network, okay?
Sure.
So you oversee all the various groups and all that, but you've been quite, should I say, salient and pivotal in the introduction of this. Can you just share with your with our listeners what Ganet does and how it's related to this recent introduction?
Okay, thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to our listeners. So, like you rightly said, Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, we are an NGO that is an amalgamation of various NGOs that have come together. And we were established in 1996. And in the year 2002, when the Ghana AIDS Commission was established, we were actually part of that commission. We serve on their board. The president of the network serves on the board of the commission.
Right.
So we work very closely with the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Right.
And we virtually do a lot of education to the public. We are present in almost all the 16 regions across the country. And we carry out education in local communities, in places of worship, in educational centers, and other various areas. Those are the areas where we work, and primarily is education and then also advocacy for resources for us to be able to implement the HIV and AIDS interventions.
So you're a key stakeholder.
Yes.
Present on the board of GAC, and
yes.
you also have a dual role with the Global Fund.
Yes. So, well, personally, I serve as the vice chair of the country coordinating mechanism of the Global Fund.
Okay.
And this is a very key institution because it represents the Global Fund here in Ghana.
Okay.
The Global Fund does not have an office here.
Okay.
So it is this committee that oversees implementation of all Global Fund activities in the country.
Right, great. Now, I know Ganet was instrumental and did some key work in, should I say, testing or piloting this Oraquick. I'll come to that in a second. Let me read a couple of messages whilst Dr. Fred... why have I forgotten Fred's name now? But Dr. Fred of the Ghana AIDS Commission has joined us. He's sitting down. Let me just quickly read a couple of messages. Hi, Nortey. Welcome to my abode in Rifa, Bahrain. This is Bernard in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Thanks for tuning in. You're most welcome. This one says, Amen, Amen, Amen. Welcome and good afternoon, Nortey. This song is awesome. This is from Dede, right? Doesn't say where she's texting from. And then Ifo Mauli from La Paz is also with us. You can join us. WhatsApp is 05511 We're talking about the recently outdoored Oraquick HIV self-test quick. Fred Nanapoku, that's right. Why your name just jumped? It was suppressed, not virally, but you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Right. He's the Director of Technical Services with the Ghana AIDS Commission. So coming back to you, you did a pilot
yes.
of this, right?
Yes.
What did the pilot tell you?
Okay, so we started a pilot in February this year.
Okay.
And we work very closely with the National AIDS Control Program that is actually implementing the self-tests here in Ghana.
Okay.
So there are two entities. We have Garnet and then another organization known as SH24.
Right.
So SH24, they do virtual
UK
based,
right.
Exactly. They are UK based organization with representation here in Ghana.
Right.
So they have
that's the 24-hour self-help,
exactly,
sexual health.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Platform.
So they use a virtual platform to deploy the HIV self-testing kits. And then Garnet, we were community-based. So we worked in 50 districts across the country.
Right.
And I'm going to share with you some of the figures that we had. So in all, for the first quarter, we distributed some 33,257 kits. And out of that, our peer educators were able to do 26,191 follow-ups.
Okay, so you gave out this Oraquick self-test.
Yes.
In 50 districts.
Yes,
right?
across the
Ghana.
country. Yes.
Okay. And then you followed up on about 26,000 of them.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes, and out of the 26,000 people that were able to reach as a result of follow-up was 24,847. That means that our peer educators were able to get in contact with all of these people. Okay. So for this number, those who gave feedback and those who used kits were verified by our peer educators.
Okay.
Were 21,551.
Okay.
And out of that number, some refused or some declined to cooperate with our peer educators. Okay. That means that they refuse to either share their results.
So we cannot verify or ascertain whether they used it or used it properly and all that. Okay,
exactly. And they are 274. Those are 274. Okay. And that group is a group that is of very much interest to us, and I'll come back to that. Right. So for those who tested, 50 of them self-reported testing positive.
Okay.
They themselves voluntarily shared their results, and they indicated that they had tested positive. Now, our peer educators are supposed to link persons who test positive to care.
Okay.
So out of the 50 that reported, they have been able to link 38 of them to care. And then 12 persons remain unlinked to care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So if you just joined us, this is Ultimate Health on Joy99.7 FM. We're discussing the recently introduced Oraquick self-test for HIV. You can test yourself by taking an oral swab, the same way you can do a pregnancy test at home and a malaria test and so on and so forth, right? The methodology basically can be explained on a surface level the same way, right? So you take your sample yourself, and there's a kit that allows you to take your sample and get a determination within 20 minutes or after 20 minutes. We'll get into those details in a bit. There's a video and a lot of demonstration, should I say, communication material out there that takes you through. We'll share that on our pages shortly. So that's what we're going through. They've given out, before the launch, Garnet had done this pilot, shared almost 33,000 plus of these kits in 50 districts of our dear country, Ghana, right? Yes. Followed up about 24,000 or 26,000 of them. Were able to verify from people who got these kits that they had used them. That was about 24,000. 21,000. And then they got feedback, right?
Sure.
Some people refused, right? Stubborn Academy. Okay. And then, of course, there were some who, as a result, were indicated to be positive. Yes. And as part of the project, they were able to link a substantial number of these to care and care facilities.
Yes.
Okay. So these all preceded the launch, okay, to get a sense, an indication or an index of the acceptability of this across the country. If you have any questions, concerns, my WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. You can ask the questions. I've got the technical folk qualified to give you responses. I've got the Ghana AIDS Commission, Dr. Fred Nana Poku. You just heard speaking Garnet boss or president, Mr. Otin, and then the program officer in charge of clinical care at the NACP, Dr. Raphael Edu-Jemfi. If you have any questions, concerns, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Shortly, we'll activate the phone lines. Okay, so this is empirical data.
Sure.
All right?
Sure.
And it tells us a lot. What were your conclusions, just quickly, before I bring in the GAC?
Well, the conclusion is that initially, we were not too sure how the public was going to receive the test kits, but the results or the outcomes of this pilot shows that many people are very much interested in taking the oral tests.
It's 50, sorry, but just by way of sampling and
Yes.
methodology, 50 out of 275. No, we have 275 constituencies. So
Yes.
this is actually 50 districts.
50 districts,
Okay,
yes.
is it representative enough for us to draw broad conclusions?
Yes, I think so, because we have 261 districts across the country. And if you look at the number of persons that tested or self-reported positive, it's about 50. So, which means on the average, we're getting one case per district on the average.
Right.
And if you look at the national prevalence, it's about 1.7.
Okay.
But I mentioned that there's a group that is of interest to us, and that's the group that declined cooperation with our
Floating
predicators.
voters.
Because we suspect that this group may be persons who actually tested positive, but do
So
not
they may
want,
have
but did not
tested
want
positive and
Yes.
then gone sub-radar.
Yes, they don't want to
Okay.
actually indicate that yes they
So
tested
is there
positive.
extra follow-up for these people?
Ye-
I let me just put it this way: you've given out this stuff. You
Yes.
can't have just dropped them by drone, right? There must have been a process that enabled or facilitated follow-up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So which means that these people were lost to follow-up, or
Not lost to follow up per se.
they just refused.
They just refused.
Okay, so we know where they are, but
We
they
know-
refused.
Yes, we know where they are.
This is very important
We,
data.
we got into contact with them,
Okay.
but they just declined cooperation.
Okay.
Some of them actually, the follow-up process was we used a dual approach.
Okay.
In person and then
Right.
via phone.
Okay.
So some of them just switched off their phones and we never got back to them.
Okay.
Some of them, our peers got back to them, but then they just wouldn't talk.
Right.
So we suspect that these are persons that may have had issues because when people test and they test negative, they are very happy to show their results to everybody.
Right.
It is only when people test positive that they become a bit skeptical
Okay.
about sharing their results.
Great
So,
stuff. Folks,
Yeah.
what I want you to do to help us and assist the team in the studio is to let us know how comfortable would you feel if in the comfort of your bathroom, your sitting room, or wherever, right, your hostel at the university, you could test and know your HIV status. This is possible, and there are various other, should I say, self-test kits available, right? It's been implemented in other countries, and we are seeing this as a key and significant addition to our response in Ghana to be able to identify very quickly persons who may be at risk, who may be positive, and then open the doors to treatment and care if they are, and also heighten their vigilance and their preventive measures and strategies if they are negative. If you have any questions, concerns, WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. This is Ultimate Health. Shortly, I will activate the phone lines. Dr. Nana Poku, you're with the Ghana AIDS Commission. You work in partnership and in collaboration. So you bring all this together. How significant is this new addition? Oral self-test kits. There are already some available in the country, but how significant is this?
Right. Thank you very much, my good friend, Mr. Nortey.
Yeah.
or Dr. Nortey. Yes. Self-testing is very important. It has added to our conglomerate of arsenals that we use in achieving our 95.
Right. Okay.
Hitherto, without self-testing, you have to either be in the facility, sort of, or be rich in a community doing an outreach program.
Okay.
But with the introduction of self-testing, you can pick it up, you can from several sources, either through the net, or by an outreach program, or you can purchase it, and then in the own comfort of your home, you have some tests done on you. And if the reaction is reactive, you then have to go for a confirmatory test to ensure that you are confirmed positive or not. And that is just the beginning of good things, in that currently the drugs are highly available, highly effective. Everywhere you can get it. We have more than 700 ART facilities scattered all across the country where these drugs can be picked. So there is no need to fear. It is an addition for those who don't really are comfortable going to the facilities to test. You can initiate it in your own home or wherever you are, even in the schools, in workplaces, dormitories, anywhere. Thank you.
Great stuff. You're hearing this on Ultimate Health, Joy 99.7 FM. But it does raise some questions, okay? I'd like to call myself old school, right? I've been in the HIV response for a long time. We know our very good old friend VCT, voluntary counseling and testing, right? There's pre-test counseling and there's post-test counseling. I've personally had to intervene professionally where a group organized a health screening, and all these things were available, and there was somebody who was indicated to be positive, and his reaction wasn't that good, right? And we had to manage that, okay? So in the instance where, just like social media, which sometimes I call social murder, right? It's instant.
Yes.
It gives you a lot of power, but you've got to manage that power. So in the instance where a person at least gets an indicative provisional outcome, right? Let's look at what they are supposed to do. When we come back to HIV, we know it takes some time after exposure for your blood or your system to seroconvert, right? For you to have enough copies detectable by tests. Okay, we call that the window period. Okay. Now, I'm aware that this window period is also applicable when it comes to self-testing. Dr. Edu, let me bring that to you. Because when you read about some of the oral tests, of course, you can test negative, but it could be that you are in the window period. Let's clarify that for our listeners and use that to reinforce, should I say, a positive response to this introduction.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as you rightly said, someone may test negative today, but might be in the window period. So, per the guidance for HIV self-testing, we usually tell them that if you were exposed in any way to the virus, but tested negative, we encourage you to test again in 3 months. It's a message we've been, reinforcing anytime.
If negative, repeat the test in 3 months.
Yes.
Because you could be in that transition period.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But if you are positive also, you are required to go forward, right, and get the higher level confirmatory testing. Because we are using this as a triage,
Sure.
right? If you are indicated positive by the test, there are steps that must be followed to confirm. All right. Can you just explain that for our listeners' benefit?
So in Ghana, we have a 3-test algorithm. We do 3 tests, and all of them must be reactive or positive before we say someone is HIV positive. This is to make sure we reduce the false positivity rate. We don't tag people who are negative as being positive. So in our country's algorithm, we do the first response. We use the first response test kit. If it's reactive, we use the Oraquick. If both are reactive, we have a third level of filter. That's the SD byline. And all these 3 must be reactive before we say you are HIV positive. So having a positive, in quote, Oraquick self-test result doesn't mean you are HIV positive. It just means you might be positive. And in our implementation so far, we realize that some people have the test done and report positive results. When they come for confirmation, it turns out that they are actually negative. Most of the time because they didn't adhere to the guidelines on how the self-testing should be done. Exactly. So there is the need for people to come for confirmatory testing at the health facility level. So they go through all the 3 tests If they are all positive or reactive, then we now say you are HIV positive.
Okay.
Then we link you to treatment.
Okay.
And if negative, it's also an opportunity to offer prevention packages
Right.
to them. So no matter your result, it's still a good news.
It's still good news for our national response.
Exactly. So because there is a way to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 37 minutes past your hour 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. This is Ultimate Health. We're talking about the recently launched Oraquick self-test kit, which allows you to verify, determine your own HIV status, and then that opens the doors to various pathways, whether it is preventive strategies, behavior management, or behavioral discipline, or if you do require treatment because you are positive, then like Dr. Fred Nanapoku said, we have no shortage of the antiretrovirals and other things that you may need to literally convert this into a chronic ailment that can be managed and that guarantees you optimum quality of life. If you have any questions, I'm going to activate the phone line 030-221-6541 030-221-6541. WhatsApp is 055-1111-997 if you want to ask questions about this self-test kit. I'll allow Dr. Edu Jemfi to walk us through the steps of using the test, and then we'll start considering how this should be deployed. And also the big question my listeners always ask on this program, is it free? How do I get it? Where do I get it? How do I know I'm getting the genuine one? Right? Is it branded in any way? And so on and so forth. So let me just remind listeners, Ultimate Health Now, every Sunday, 2:05, comes to you kind courtesy of Virtual Security Africa. This is a Ghanaian company with 15 years experience in providing integrated electronic security solutions such as CCTV, access control, intruder alarm, fire alarm, electric fence, and many more. They provide cutting-edge solutions to meet the security needs of their customers with lifetime after-sales support. You can locate them in Accra, Tesano, behind their live chapel. The showroom is at Jowolu, first floor of the Nana Adepa Plaza. In Kumasi, they are the Santansi roundabout opposite the Goyle Fuel Station and Takrady on the Kintampo Road. You can visit them on www.virtualsecurityafrica.com or call them on 050-331-4068 or 0558-519839. VSA. They are providing you with cutting-edge security solutions. Okay? And of course, you can WhatsApp us on 055-1111-997. Phone line is active, 030-221-6541. Coming back into the studio. Doc, take us quickly through the steps. You get a pack. What are you supposed to do, if we can go through that quickly? Yeah.
Okay. So once you get the pack, you open it and you find a leaflet in there that provides guidance, step-by-step guidance on how the test should be done.
Okay.
Now, in the pack, again, is a tube that is capped. And this tube contains a diluent that helps to, a solvent that helps to perform the test.
So that's a fluid.
That's a fluid,
Okay,
yes.
right.
Now, the test kit is also in there, which has a pad. Okay. Now, what you need to do is to reduce the false positivity rate. Make sure you don't eat 15 minutes prior to the test.
Okay.
And then don't use any mouthwash about 30 minutes prior to the test.
Okay.
So that those nothing influences the result.
Right.
Now, once all that is done, you open the test kit and then wrap the pad
Okay.
on your gum.
It looks like a swab.
A swab,
A bit
yes.
like a cotton bud.
Yes,
Right.
like
Yeah.
a cotton bud,
Okay.
yes. So you wrap it at the upper part of your gum and then the lower gum as well.
Okay.
It helps pick the tissue fluid. This doesn't mean the virus is in saliva.
Okay.
It's the tissue fluid that might contain the antibodies to the virus that you are picking.
Okay.
Yes. So once you wrap it in the upper gum and the lower one, you now drop that particular part or the cotton bud into the fluid,
Right.
which has a stand.
Right.
And then wait for 20 minutes
Okay.
to read the results. And you don't read the results after 40 minutes.
So if you wait for 20 minutes, there should be an indication on the test strip.
Yes.
Okay. If it's longer than 20 minutes, then you won't get a valid result.
Okay, it shouldn't go beyond 40 minutes.
Okay.
The recommendation is for you to wait for at least 20 minutes,
20 minutes
before you read.
Less than 40 minutes.
But less than 40 minutes,
Okay.
yes, before you read the results.
Right. What are the possible outcomes on the indicator?
Okay, so on the test kit, you will see two figures there. We have a C, which is the control,
Right.
and the T, which is the test.
Okay.
So the possibility is that you may have a line, a red line at only the C,
Okay.
which means you are HIV negative.
Negative.
Yes,
Okay.
always the C
Is a
must
control.
be, which is the control. The C, the control line must always be there.
Okay.
Now, if you have a line at the C and the T, you have two lines, one at the C and one at the T. It means you might have HIV. It doesn't mean you're HIV positive.
Okay.
That tells you might have HIV.
Okay.
So you need to go to the nearest health facility to complete the testing process or to go through the national testing algorithm.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Now, the other possibility is to have only have no C, have the line at a T, or sometimes nothing even shows up in the column at all,
Okay.
or the whole column is red.
Right.
All those are invalid results, which you can't make any meaning of.
Okay.
It's only when you have the control, the line at the control alone, which means you are negative,
Okay.
or the line at the control and the T, which means you might be HIV positive.
Okay.
That's what you use to make a decision on what next steps to take.
All right,
Yes.
great stuff. 44 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7. We're learning about the test, some of the challenging issues and matters arising, okay? We've heard of a pilot where some people used it but refused to comment. Top official refuses to comment, you know. When politicians do that, then apo, right? But we are told that there's effort and there's, should I say, a framework in place to follow up some of these things. Now, we are deploying this as a country as a potential game changer in our response. The more people who know their status, the more we can do for them and the more prevention work we can do, right? And we can also segment them. When I looked at our national data, men are about 36 point something percent, women are about 60 something point some percent. 67, right? So there are more women living with HIV, right, than men, and there are clinical and other biological reasons for that. Okay, but again, we want to pick this up. There's also a lot of movement in various age brackets that we are concerned about as a country, right? So this presents us with an opportunity to now go in there and people can, in their own comfort, in quotes, determine their HIV status. Indeed, the theme is know your status and what? Test and know your status.
Test yourself,
know your status. All right, okay? So that empowers you, right? It doesn't kill you, it empowers you, because now, unlike way back in early 2000s or in the 90s, there's so much we can do for persons who actually test positive. My phone line is active 0302-216541. WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. Let me just quickly read a couple. Good afternoon, Senior Nortey. Testing HIV positive is not a death sentence. We should all avail ourselves to the service because it helps to know your status and to plan one's life by avoiding the infection or professionally managing the life afterwards. So AIDS, which is the end stage, is avoided. Again, the number of NGOs involved should be doubled for a more impactful outcome. Great work, team. This is Eric Agbozo Dapu, DAPU NGO from Nkrakan near Kofredria. Right, thanks, Eric. This one says, Nortey, I don't think... Hang on. Scroll. Nortey, I don't think self-test is advisable. We are informed that even before you doctors announce person's HIV status to a patient, you take him through some psychological counseling. Don't you think a person can have a psychological breakdown and perhaps commit suicide? Jonas from Lashibi, we'll consider that in a sec, right? Dede in Maryland, holla, those refusing to declare their results, what is being done to persuade, coax them to do so and to get them the proper treatment care they need? We don't know their status, but we can make some inferences from that refusal to disclose or to give feedback. And are they not spreading it due to their refusal, right? That's a good question. We'll address that. And there was another one. Hi, this must be Douglas in DC. When he writes my full name, Alfred Nortey Dua, right? Why can't they do committee to committee testing? And why do they wait? Say community, I guess. Why do they wait till this point? Huge number of infection. How And how do you get the testing kit? How sure are we it is the right one? Is it affordable? Douglas from DC, which is Dansoman, right? Not District of Columbia, right? And good afternoon, please. How can we get some of the test kit at Winneba? All right, so let's address these quickly. I still have Dr. Fred Nana Poku, Director Technical Services at the Ghana AIDS Commission. Ernest Otin is the president of the Ghana AIDS Network, right? GANET. And then Dr. Raphael Edujemfi is with the National AIDS and STI Control Program. So they are the frontline people to be speaking to. So availability, accessibility, affordability. Which of you will speak to that?
Okay. Let me attempt that, yes.
Okay.
So availability. For now, we are running a pilot, as I mentioned. And so the kits are available for free through our channel. But like you rightly mentioned...
What does your channel mean before you go for it?
So our channel means the Ghana Health Service,
Okay.
NACP, and GANET,
So,
as well as SH24.
right. Practically, right?
Yes.
When you say Ghana Health Service, every health facility, when you say the NACP or Ghana AIDS Commission, if I'm listening, like somebody said, in Winneba, where do I go?
Okay. So as you know, presently HIV testing in all public facilities is free.
It's free.
Yes.
By policy.
By policy,
Okay,
yes.
right.
So with time, all of these test kits will be deployed to all these facilities, so
Okay.
persons will be able to access them for free.
Okay.
But then, the ones we are deploying for free now are the ones that the Global Fund has paid for.
Okay.
So after some time, we'll end the free distribution,
Okay.
and then the other commercial entities that are into the distribution of the self-test kits,
So-
they will take over.
So later we will upscale
It will upscale
and
it,
it'll be
yes.
more widely available.
More widely available. And then if you want it, you can then go to any pharmacy, just like how you can get malaria test kits. Just like
So
how
are
you can
we,
get
are we
pregnancy.
as a country, we've done a launch, okay? Everybody
Yes.
has heard this. They're hearing the benefits, okay? Are we saying that currently it's available in restricted areas? Dr. Dujefi,
Okay.
what's the plan?
Okay, so currently you can go to self-test, www.selftest, that's SELF dash or hyphen TEST
Okay.
.HIV.
Okay.
Go there and then you can order for your test kit.
Okay.
Those in Accra and Tema. Currently, that's where the service is. You can go to this website and then order for your free self-test kit to be delivered to you.
Is that a Ghana Health Service site? What is it?
Okay, this is a service by SH24. The
Okay.
Global Fund provided resources to them to
Okay,
offer
so we
this.
have donors and partners
Yes.
who are providing this.
Yes.
So if you use the portal you're talking about, it will be sent to you.
It will be sent to you, delivered via FedEx to you.
Okay.
Yes, and so far they started this in April and they've distributed over 800 kits
Right.
so far to people.
So you have to have access to the internet.
Yes, okay. You don't really need the internet, the SMS, the short. You could have that done through your SMS as well. That's an option.
Yeah, but you still have to be online.
Yes, because
Okay.
the communication is via WhatsApp. That's the only
That's why
challenge.
I'm looking at it in terms of methodology. We
Okay.
want to upscale and open up testing, right? A
Yes.
key pillar, the first 95.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And we're saying that currently, as we speak, subsequent to the launch, this is how you can get it, right? Or
Yes.
this is one of the ways you can get it, right?
Yes.
Through this site,
Yes.
which is being run by SH24,
24. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other way you can get it in Ghana?
Yes. So there are some health facilities that also have the self-test kits in stock, so people can walk in.
How do we know? You see, seriously, when I do programs like this, I want to be able to give out information. I don't want to confuse the masses, right? So when we say some health, I mean, we've launched it. So at the launch, I've read a lot around it, right? But can we not specifically and conclusively say, go here, 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 here? For example, in the pilot, we went to 50 districts, okay? I'm sure we can identify those districts. So persons are listening to us now.
Yes.
When you say some health facilities, as soon as somebody goes and doesn't get it, I'm in trouble. I'll get the feedback here,
Yes.
right? And they know me,
Yeah.
I can bash, right? So can we have the conclusive communication? How do we get it?
We will get the list
Uh-huh.
so that you put on your site.
Okay.
Today we'll get the list to you, so you put on your site so people can go
Because
there.
my listeners can do self-bashing. But they'll be bashing you, not themselves.
Yes.
This is an important pillar of a response strategy, right? Where do we get it? And when it becomes commercially available, how much is it? Right? Or how much is it projected to be? Because for us, accessibility, affordability, and acceptance are very key parameters to look at.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You see,
So for the pricing, I've had conversation with Oraquick Technologies. They are the representative.
manufacturers.
Yes, yes, and they are rep in Ghana. The indication is that the pricing will be around $3.
All right.
So if you convert to cedis, maybe 35.
35.
Times 11 point something.
Yeah, so
Okay.
maybe.
I would prefer we speak in CDs.
Well, that's so maybe around 35 Ghana.
These days people are stealing
cedis.
money in foreign exchange, but we're still talking CDs.
Yes. So around 35 Ghana.
35 Ghana cedis for the
around that,
test.
yes,
for
the
one
te-
test.
For one test, yes.
Okay. Is there anything to indicate before I bring you in, Fred, that this is the test? This is valid because people are fast out there, right?
Oh yes, this
How we would know this is valid? It is not compromised in any way. The packaging. What? Is there anything we should look out for?
Yeah, so when you look at the test kits, there is a barcode on it. Once you use your if you can use your phone,
Right.
just your phone
To
to
scan?
scan.
Right.
Yes, and if it's authentic, it will take you
Okay.
to the website.
All right.
Of
Listeners, when it comes to HIV, apart from WhatsApp, I see you guys are quiet. Are you part of the Stubborn Academy? I've gone to the end of the earth and back to get these guys into the studio. I would expect a few calls or comments or questions. Thanks, Dede, and all you who are WhatsApping. But people tend to go below sea. They are thinking. Right? I'll be sleeping and my wife will put it in my mouth and say, "Pam, hey, you, let's go here." Right? But let's look at availability. So currently, as we speak, people have to go online.
yes.
Okay. And then when they go online, are they required to provide any personal details, information? Because your phone line will be used or your
Yes.
address to send it
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are some very basic questions you have to respond to when you go online.
Okay.
So your telephone number will be taken, and then you also have to indicate where you are, your location,
Okay.
so that the test kits can be delivered to you free of charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you say they've distributed what, 800 so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Via the virtual platform.
Is that good? Is that a good performance within what time frame?
Okay, so that was because initially many people were not aware of the self-test kits. Some were also skeptical about it. But right after the launch, we've seen the figures going up.
But that brings me, Fred, that brings me to, communication programs alongside a launch,
Yeah.
right? As pivotal as this.
Right.
You see, when you break communication, all these things should be in place.
Yes.
Do you see?
Yeah.
But it looks like, I don't want to use the word fragmented, but people should know about it and they should be able to reach out and get it.
Right. So
Yeah.
it is being done, but not on a very wide scale as we wish. I know we have also developed, for example, there are TVCs in the local languages that have been developed.
Are
That-
they out?
Yes,
Yeah,
they are
they're
out, and especially during the outreach programs by the CSOs, they give these to the clients, to people in the communities.
So can
And
I say that all key media outlets have these
I don't want to believe that.
videos? This is the problem. This is my problem, right? To all your agencies.
Right.
You launch something like this and then it's like you're struggling to get media access, but they say Ghana Health Service is a partner. They say this person is a partner. This group is a partner. And it's not happening. We all know behavior change communication.
Yes.
And we know all the strategies. So why should it be seemingly suffocating? Put it out there and then let's see, did Ghanaians take it up or not? But when it is like, it's a hassle to get it.
Yes,
Then
I agree with you. But in part, we have done some work, but it's not complete.
we lean too
We
much on
have
external partnerships.
put- yes,
The
we have
Ghana
put-
Is Commission
Yeah.
is chaired by I'm asking a question, chaired by His Excellency
His
the President.
Excellency, yes.
Right? It's a very serious body.
Yes.
So, are we putting our own money to our HIV response, or
No, but
do we
given
suffocate when people don't give us money?
Not to cut you. If I take these clips
Yeah.
to media houses,
Yeah.
the first thing they'll ask is what is coming along with it.
Of course.
Because they won't give us free slots.
But
Yeah.
your
They
partners,
Just a minute.
wait, hang on. Your partners also know that media is not free.
Yes.
So it's not. I mean, somebody is doing business. My air conditioning is on in the studio.
Right.
I'm global.
Certainly.
Somebody has to pay for
So
it.
we will need to ensure that we have the funds that are adequately to cover all that.
But you've
So
launched.
we have, we see, we and you know the media houses are so many nowadays. We can't go to every
Uncle Fred,
one.
you
So
should
what we
have.
do-
Listen.
what we do-
It's like telling me there are so many political parties.
Listen to
Some
me.
of them don't even meet a certain threshold. The
Yes.
key ones should have
The
access.
key ones, that is what I'm coming to.
Uh-huh.
We make sure that we approach the key ones to have these materials to air.
Has it been done?
And then, to some extent, I wouldn't say completely. That one I agree with you. I wouldn't want
right.
to say that. But that is being done. And we continue to do. And we have to also understand that it is not available for everybody as it is. We don't have it all in a system like the normal test kits that we have.
Yeah.
It's
so
just
then
to,
it cannot be the game changer it is positioned to be.
it is no, wait a minute. So it is adding on to existing structures, existing modalities already. It is not replacing what we have already. So the facility testing at all entry points will continue, no doubt about it. It's going to continue. The testing through outreaches
Nowhere
will continue.
in this program,
And then,
in our communication, have
Yes.
we, hang on, suggested that it replaces the conventional testing.
right,
Indeed,
I'm just emphasizing the point.
I brought in the fact that there's a triage.
Yes,
And we have a 3-step algorithm.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
aware of all that.
yes.
Okay, so those ones remain. We are
Right.
now saying that, hooray, we have launched Oraquick, which is just one
Yes.
of several.
Yes.
And I'm looking at accessibility.
Yes.
And it's sounding a bit fragmented to me.
Accessibility currently, as had been said, financially is free, right? And then in terms of locations, we have the locations that we will share, the facilities that have it, and then the CSOs who goes into the community to distribute it. It shall also be known as to where and where. I just can't say it off my head, but it is there, and that will also be soon. But as he has indicated, ultimately, you might have to pay something.
No,
to-
but you see, I don't have a
to-
problem.
to
And
have-
let me
Yeah.
tell you something. Ghanaians
Yes.
don't have a problem.
Yes.
You brought something. It has empirical scientific backing.
Yes.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So this you might have to pay all this comini. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No.
Wait, hang on. You see, if there's an index price,
Yes.
and we even call it a promotional price,
Yes.
let's do it and provide it.
Yes.
Then when we are writing our papers,
Yes.
and we have the data. You see,
Yes.
but if we say, "Oh, I don't want to mention this," I really,
No.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do programs where I can't mention certain things. So what I'll do, we've actually passed 3:00. What I'll
Yes.
do is, maybe next week we can come back.
Sure.
Because I'm getting messages, people asking, where can I get it?
Sure.
So if there's information even of a restricted or limited rollout, I would want Ultimate Health to be able to give out that information. In all fairness, do you see?
But I
Then-
think
I agree with you.
we've done that already.
Yes.
That's what Dr. DJMF said, that if you go to the website, I'm aware that as we speak now, deliveries are ongoing, except that it's restricted, to use your words, in
Yes.
Accra and Tema for this time. But then subsequently, it's going to be rolled out all across the 16 regions.
Okay.
And this is going to be done in partnership with the Pharmaceutical Council, so that all pharmacies will start stocking the.
So as we speak, Mr. Otin,
Yes.
is there a time frame? We say subsequently.
Yes.
There's nothing we can say about that. So for now, it's online.
Yes, for now it's online.
Online
and
only.
we have many of such kits within our system now, which we are distributing. So if you go online, anybody listening to us can try. Just go to the self-test line, website.
Okay.
And then you can place an order. You get a response, and then the process will follow from there.
Okay.
For those in Accra,
For those in
Tema.
Accra in Tema, yes.
All right.
That's true. That's
But
true,
then Orasure has given us the assurance. Sounds like a pun. So that they are going to roll it out in the pharmacies. And I've given the indicative pricing, which is around 35 Ghana
30,
cedis.
30, 40 years.
Okay.
35.
All right. Nortey, the soon mantra, dear, we hear a lot of that always. We demand specifics. Nanyen Jonas Tinkrang, right? Sense that. Okay. And yes, that's what my listeners expect.
Yes.
On this platform. So we'll come back to it, and we'll put the demonstration video I've given to Abeku. We'll try and put it on our platforms. But I think serious programs shouldn't be shy of paying media, whatever. When you have programs in hotels, you pay them. I know. Right? yes. I know. Global Fund.
Sorry.
So please, let's have some specifics. We're grateful for the information.
Sure.
It's a key innovation.
Sure.
Right? And
Sure.
we must look at how to deploy it.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Of
Sure.
course, I'm also a social scientist. When it comes to online based, it works for certain things. For other
Exactly.
things, we need other pathways.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That would facilitate this.
Exactly. See,
So
that
we'll
is
come back
why.
to that.
And also the people, the target audience comes to play when it comes to social marketing through the networks and website. So
Okie dokie. I will come chasing you. I'll come
Sure,
bringing down
sure,
your
sure,
leg.
sure,
So, folks,
sure.
you'll be listening to Dr. Fred Nanapoku, Director of Technical Services at the Ghana AIDS Commission. Ernest Amwabeng. Is that Amwabeng?
Yes. Amwabeng.
Otin with an I. He's the president of Garnet, and then Dr. Raphael Edu Jemfi. I yanked them all at very short notice, so I'll be in restrained mode. But I'll get you more information on this. It does empower you and open a lot of doors.
Sure.
When we'll go also further into the breakdown of our data as a country, so that you can see the kind of age groups and things that are going on with regard to HIV. 72% of persons living or estimated to be living with HIV know their status. That's
Yes.
We're making progress. Okay, and a significant chunk again are on sustained treatment of a sort. Okay, we are moving towards the targets, but here on 99.7 FM, we want to zoom. Many thanks, gentlemen. Many thanks to my listeners as well. Produced by Abeku-san Kofi, brought to you kind courtesy Virtual Security Africa. Stick and stay on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nortey by nature. We'll be back next Sunday. Thank you.